started with DIY number 1, you guys. Everyone can do this right here, what I'm about to show you. First, hunt or thrift or shop around your home for a frame that you want to use. Now, these are frames that I found at the thrift store and I have showcased with you guys here, and I knew that they would be so perfect for Halloween. Definitely be on the search for the thrift store. They always carry so many different frames and shapes and sizes, and you will find something that will go with your spooky decor. Next, find an image. So I am searching on Etsy and I was browsing around at some of the images that are available to purchase. Now, you can definitely use any images from any book. If you have a scary spooky book, a vintage book, or something from a chapter book, you know, images or art prints, whatever you choose to decide, it is your piece that you're going to display. I am choosing Etsy because there's so many different various pictures and prints and just all catered to different themes and collectives that I knew that it would be so super easy and fun to browse through all of these pictures. So I did ultimately choose 2 images that I will go ahead and purchase and then download. So this will be a definitely another extra step if you choose to do the Etsy route, is you have to purchase the pictures, download them into your computer and print them out. Make sure if you choose a color image that you have color for your printer. So then once you choose your image and download them or cut them out of the book or from your page, make sure they are big enough for your frame. And then the last step is super easy, you guys. Again, this DIY is super simple. Anyone can do it. You're going to go ahead and cut your image to size. So make sure that you read on the dimensions and sizes of the art print. If you choose to buy it on Etsy, you want to make sure that it will fit the size of your frame. Or if you are just going to look for an image somewhere online or use it from a book, make sure that the size of that image is going to cover up your frame completely. It did take me a few double takes to get the right size, unfortunately, to get it into the frame. But nonetheless, it was such a super easy and great way to display some Halloween art into your decor. And just like that, you're going to go ahead and place it into your frame and close the backing of it. Again, you guys, this is super simple. Anyone can do it. Shop around your home for a frame or go to the thrift store. There's so many intricate ones that have details alongside all of the border of the frame. You know, you can get them in different shapes and sizes, colors, you name it, and you're not going to spend that much because usually at the thrift store they are super cheap. But here's the first one completed. I absolutely fell in love with this art print. It's like a vintage Victorian era likeness to it. And then the other one that we're going to start is this one as well. As you guys know, I did thrift this frame as well. It used to be from the Disneyland Resort. And here it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. I did take out the silhouette that was on here and I'm getting it ready to display the art piece that I downloaded, which was an image of a witch holding a broom in a field. So again, you guys, this is something that I definitely recommend that you guys do. It's super easy, it's super fun, and I think they came out really nice. DIY number 2 is also going to utilize some of my thrift finds. So we're going to make this witch's broom. So be on the lookout, of course, for a stick. That is the most important piece that you're going to need for this witch's broom. And also, of course, the broom part. So this is something that I thrifted from OC Goodwill. You guys saw me haul this, along with the stick that I'm using for this witch's broom. So you can absolutely do this for free. You can basically, if you have a forest, a park, anywhere that has, you know, houses a lot of trees, go on a walk one day, start picking up random long sticks that you can utilize to make the broom part. It's absolutely easy. It's free. You guys don't even have to go out and buy anything if you are able to locate these items for yourself. So you're going to want to make sure that you collect enough sticks if you are going to go that route, enough sticks to make a very voluminous broom. So I tied this up with just some simple knotting, and I wanted it to be flexible. You want it to be flexible in order for you to be able to insert the stick. So find a stick or purchase one. This one was thrifted. I believe it was like a handmade cane. And once I saw it at the thrift store, I knew this was going to be perfect for this DIY. So I was super excited. So you're going to go ahead and grab your stick, whichever route it may be, whether you purchase one, you find one out somewhere. You can always add detail to it, scratch marks, you know, use something to scrub it to make it look weathered and aged. The details are what makes it the most funnest and best, you guys. So you cannot go wrong with something like this. So basically all I'm doing is squeezing in the stick into the branches. As you guys can see me right now, I'm just pushing it in. That's why I needed the broom part, the bristles, to be flexible, so that way I'm able to just insert it. Now you are able to reinforce this maybe with some zip ties because they're not usually that visible, or just, you know, get some nautical rope or anything like that to give it more of a characteristic look. And that's basically it. You're just going to reinforce it, make sure that it doesn't wiggle out and that it holds very well. And I think that this broom is perfect for a flight in the night. This is an enhancement. It's really not much of a DIY. This is the haunted house that I purchased from Big Lots, and I was just not very happy with the light that came with it, you guys. It's like this tri-colored light that has like green and other colored lights on it, and I just was not very happy with it at all. So this was going to be something super simple. You know, I wanted to take out the light. Here is how it looks. As you guys can see, it changes from green to like blue to like red, kind of almost to like a purple, and it's like basically doing like a light show. It's basically like a club inside the haunted house. I was not a fan of this lighting, so I knew that I wanted to change it up. So this was actually very simple. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the light source that is inside. As you guys can see right here, this is the light source, and it's basically just being held by some glue, some hot glue. So definitely for this part, be very safe. You know, get something sharp. I'm using a flat screwdriver. You can definitely use an X-Acto knife just to cut out, you know, wiggle off this hot glue right here. Again, you want to just be very careful that you don't hurt yourself. And you're basically going to remove all of this hot glue that is being surrounded around the light source. So it's basically just being propped in there. It's what's holding it in place. And it was actually very easy to remove this. It didn't take too long to just take it out of the haunted house. Next, you will want to find a tea light or some type of light that will fit into the same opening as the light source that was originally in its place. So I did buy these little tea lights from Amazon, and it fit perfectly into the hole. Now, I believe the tea light was a little bit too loose, so you know, if you had to move the house, you have to also move the tea light because it will move around and fall out. So make sure that you definitely remove everything because it's not being held anymore. But look at the difference. It looks absolutely gorgeous and I love it. The next DIY is very simple. I got this planter that is being, you know, placed at the bottom like a pedestal of the cage. So I got this at Goodwill, and I think it was some type of flower holder, maybe a flower arrangement pot or something like that. So I decided that I was actually going to use it as a pedestal to the crow's cage, kind of like to make it seem like it was a standing up cage. And basically just got some matte spray paint, or actually no, I'm sorry, this is actually satin black spray paint, spray painted it and placed it as the base, and got the bird cage that I got also thrifted, and the crow from Michael's that you guys saw in my Halloween haul. I simply added some dried moss on the inside and the crow, and I think it absolutely looks like a finished piece. I just love how that plant stand really adds character to the cage. It definitely makes it seem like it's a whole piece, like it's a standing up bird cage. And I just really love how this came out. It was super, super easy, super simple. Just remember, you guys, go into the thrift store with some imagination. You can definitely use things to come up with new ideas, and you can alter things to make them work your way. This next enhancement is super, super easy as well. So I bought some matte black spray paint, and I knew that I wanted to make this CVS Pottery Barn dupe terracotta pumpkin into a black finish. So I bought 2 of these, but you guys will only see me spray paint 1, but I did spray paint 2 of them. So basically you're just going to have an open area where you can safely spray paint, make sure there's a lot of ventilation, and basically just spray paint it. And it's super simple, super easy, and I just love how it looks once it came off dry. Now for this next DIY, you guys, I did not come up with this idea. I found this on Instagram and I absolutely loved it, and I knew that I wanted to recreate it. So basically what you're going to do is get a cauldron. I purchased mine from Target. It's part of the Threshold collection. You're going to need some pumpkins, which I got at Goodwill and also Michael's. You're going to need some skewers as well as some floral sponges, the material that you use to hold flower bouquets, which I did not showcase in the video. I think I might have forgotten. Those are at the bottom of the cauldron on the inside, and basically you're just going to start building up your floral arrangement inside of the cauldron. This was super easy and super fun. You guys are seeing me use the skewers as a way to hold the pumpkins into the cauldron, and I just absolutely love it. It's super simple, you guys. You just put things into the sponge on the inside, and it's super simple and easy. I don't know how else to word it, but you know, I did have some difficulty in placing flowers here and there. I'm just very intricate, and I'm always very peculiar about things if they, you know, look weird and stuff like that. So that may be the most difficult thing you may have, is just figuring out your arrangement. And all of these picks were from Michael's, which were absolutely stunning. I fell in love with them. I kind of used the same color scheme that she had on Instagram, but these are not the same picks that she used. And I also purchased these from Amazon. They are candle holders. Now they do come with the base, but I did remove them, and I'm only using them and inserting them into the sponge down below into the cauldron. And these are going to be placeholders for our candles, which I also purchased on Amazon. So again, you guys, this is super simple. Just go to Michael's. They might still be having a sale on floral picks, and you don't have to theme this to fall. It could also be for Halloween. You could even do for Thanksgiving and add more vibrant colors or fall colors. You can add leaves. Anything you guys want, make it your very own. It's super fun and easy. Now the last part is just to insert some candles. Again, I purchased these from Amazon and I just absolutely love them. They are so pretty, and here is the final look. I cannot believe how awesome this looks with the cauldron. It is such a nice piece. It's such a nice arrangement, and it's going to look so fabulous not only for spooky season but also leading into fall. And you can definitely add as many pumpkins, you know, any gourds, anything for fall or anything Halloween related. Make it your very own. And I just really, really love this idea. And she definitely was so creative in coming up with this idea. So all credit goes to her for coming up with this. And I absolutely love the result. And for the last DIY, you guys, we are going to try and make this Pottery Barn dupe or terracotta dupe. First, you're going to locate any pumpkin that you like that will work for this project. I'm using this one that I purchased from Goodwill. It's made out of like some type of styrofoam. So these are not ceramic or anything like that. They're just made out of some type of foam that's a little bit hard. You're also going to need some air dry clay. I purchased this at Target by Crayola. And you're going to also be needing some color paints as well as terracotta. That is what I purchased. It was some terracotta color from Michaels. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is, of course, the Pottery Barn dupes or the Pottery Barn pumpkins have a stem that makes them very unique. They look almost very natural. So using the air clay, I'm going to go ahead and grab some bunch of it and start forming a stick. And basically I'm going to form this into a stem that I can make the pumpkin have a longer stem, basically is what I'm trying to do here. So I'm just rolling it into place, and you're basically just going to start building up that stem on top of your pumpkin. Now I will advise you guys that I did have some oopsies when creating this. The clay started breaking after it had dried, and I had to go back in there and add some more to kind of give it some reinforcement. This is an extra added step. You don't have to do this, but I did get a paintbrush and just start pushing it down to kind of give it some texture onto that stem as well. So basically this is how it looks like. And again, once you guys decide how you want to have it placed, you can see the curve here that I have on it. Do not move it. Leave it alone to dry. Make sure to read the directions on your air clay. Crayola said that it takes up to 2 to 3 days for it to fully dry, depending on how thick it is. So this is how it looks, and we're gonna get it ready for painting, this was 2 days after that you guys will see next. So basically what you're going to do is you're also going to need some plaster of Paris and mix that in with your chosen color. So again, this is paint that I got from Michaels. It is a terracotta color, and basically you're just going to make a very thick paste. You want it to be a very thick consistency, so just keep mixing, add a little bit of plaster of Paris at a time. And you guys want to make sure that you work not super fast, but keep up a good pace, because plaster starts drying out within 20 to 30 minutes of you applying it together with the paint. So we're gonna go ahead and get it together. Again, this is what I used, plaster of Paris right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start applying the mixture of plaster of Paris with the combination of the paint. So I'm going to go ahead and do one whole coating of it all around the pumpkin and saving the stem for last, because I am using the stem to kind of hold the pumpkin in place, and also to turn it around to make it simple for me to get all around the pumpkin. So it definitely took 2 coatings of this mixture. You can definitely do more coats if you want a more thick surface on it. As you guys will know, the more coatings, the more texture you will have, the more texture you'll get with that Paris of plaster, and it will give you more of that terracotta vibe. Here is the dried result, as you guys can see. Now we're going to go ahead and use body powder to mimic the white finish on this. So this is how it looks. You guys can see all the texture of the plaster of Paris that did its magic. So get any box and place your pumpkin into the middle. That way it will be super simple and easy to pour out this powder that we're going to use on it. Definitely do this in an open space where you have a lot of ventilation, just because this is going to be very, very messy. So I'm using this cornstarch shower powder that I got at Dollar Tree. You can definitely use flour, and you're basically going to start applying a very thin layer of paint. So I'm using the same color paint to put around the pumpkin. So basically we're going to create a wet surface in order for the powder to stick on. So I'm basically just going roughly around the pumpkin, all around it. I don't want to completely coat it with paint because we're not repainting it. We're just making it, you know, a wet surface in order for the powder to stick on. Once your surface is completely coated, covered, you're going to start sprinkling some of the powder or flour or whatever choosing of material that you're going to use to create the white effect of the terracotta. So I'm just giving it a very good helping of the powder, and we're gonna go ahead and let this dry for a little bit, and then we're gonna come back to completely remove all of the powder that was applied on here. After some time has passed, I would give it maybe 20 minutes to an hour for you to come and brush off the excess powder or flour or material that you used. And you're basically just going to use a clean brush and remove all of the excess powder. So as you guys can see, this is definitely very messy. So I do recommend that you do this in an open space where you can have lots of breathing room, because it can get messy, definitely. But basically, we're just creating that white finish that we see on terracotta pumpkins, and I just absolutely had a great time creating this DIY. It definitely was a little bit difficult, I will say, especially with the clay cracking, and you know, sometimes the consistency of the plaster of Paris with the paint wasn't the right consistency that I wanted. So it definitely took a few extra coatings. I think I did a total of 3 coatings, and I didn't coat the bottom of the pumpkin just because I didn't want it to have all those ridges and edges, because it might make it unstable once I have it on a flat surface. So I wanted it to just be completely flat at the bottom, so that way it would give it some stability and not move around if I chose to display it somewhere. And this is the final look, you guys. I absolutely love it. So I didn't leave too much white surface on it. I wanted it to be very minimal, but you can definitely see all of the texture that the plaster did along with the powder. And I think it really came out very nice. I love the stem. It was just a beautiful piece, and I absolutely adored how it came out. I hope that you guys enjoyed all of these DIYs, and I hope that you have a wonderful time creating your very own. And remember, you can definitely create a lot of these pieces within a thrifting budget. See you guys on our next adventure.